I want you guys to remember a time when you went out drinking. And maybe you had a little bit too much to drink and you're starting to lose your balance. And maybe you're thinking, when did she get here? And when did I get changed? A lot of us have experienced a time where either one of us or one of our friends has conveniently forgot a lot of embarrassing events when drunk. But have you ever thought about why this happens? So let's first understand how our memory normally works. So welcome to the office. When an email comes into the office, it immediately gets rerouted into a specific folder depending on its content. So the computer software has a software that's able to take snapshots of the emails coming in, and it can sort them based on these features. And this is a process of our sensory memory, and those folders represent the different channels that our sensory input gets sorted into. So now that these emails are in their proper folder, we have our first salesman, Dwight Schrute, who is our top salesman. So he opens the email immediately and reads it carefully, and he starts to prepare a presentation for corporate. So he represents our short-term memory. Now, in order to give a really good presentation, just like all of you last night, Dwight Schrute is practicing what he's going to say. He's preparing and rehearsing as much as he can in order to remember exactly what he's going to be saying. This is a process of rehearsal, and this can help us transfer information from our short-term memory into our long-term memory, and this is a process of encoding. Now it's finally time for Dwight Schrute's big presentation to corporate. Corporate is well aware of all past emails that have come into the office. They're ready to listen to this new information on the new email and integrate it with the information that they already have. Corporate, after this presentation, is going to be able to act on the information that Dwight presented to them. So they represent our long-term memory. Now imagine, just as Dwight's about to give his big presentation, the power goes out. The lights are off, the electricity's gone, so naturally corporate sends everyone home. And now when corporate leaves, they won't actually remember the contents of that email because they never got that presentation. So whatever was in our short-term memory, the salesman, didn't get transferred into our long-term memory, corporate. This is actually what happens when we drink alcohol. So studies done have shown that intoxicated people can still recall information that was immediately presented to them immediately after its presentation. So for example, if you present them word pairs or series of numbers, they're able to recall them immediately, which showed researchers that transferring information into short-term memory was not what was being affected by alcohol consumption. Next, they found that when you asked intoxicated people to recall information that they encoded prior to intoxication, they were still able to do that, which showed that the process of retrieval and long-term memories was not being affected by alcohol consumption. But what is being affected? Well, it's actually more difficult when we drink alcohol to transfer information from our short-term memory into our long-term memory. So it's the process of encoding that is responsible for the fact that I can't remember hula hooping in a snowsuit in July. So there's a positive correlation between how much you drink and how much you forget. And that's known as a blackout. So a blackout is when you have no recollection of the events that have occurred. Blackouts are way more common amongst social drinkers than we even thought. And since a lot of university students drink socially as a means of de-stressing, it's important that we know exactly how we can mitigate these negative consequences. So I'm going to give you a few tips on some safe drinking practices that you can use maybe tonight. So first, pace yourselves. If you know that you can only handle 4 shots, maybe only drink 4 shots. Also, drink water and eat food. This can help you sober up. It can also help you not throw up, which is also not great. And finally, drink with people that you trust, people that you know that can keep you accountable and take care of you should anything bad happen. So please, guys, safe drinking, and thank you.